AOPS Volume 1, the basics, number 73. In a school election, candidate A got 33.3 repeating of the votes, B got 9/20ths, C got 2/15ths, and the only other candidate B, or D rather, got the remaining 75 votes. How many students were in the election? So first of all, we need to assume something, and that is that all the students voted in the election. And so we just say that the number of students will be X. And this is the quantity of students that voted in this election. So with this, 33.3 repeating percentage of a vote isn't really helpful nor computational. So let us just rewrite this in terms of a fraction. So how to rewrite this sort of decimal into a fraction is pretty simple. First, let 33.3 repeating be equal to some variable of y. Hence, we can multiply y by 10 to get 333.3 repeating. And this is true because 3 repeating will be infinitely many 3s, so multiplying by 10 will still give infinitely many 3s. 9y then is equal to 300 by subtracting equation 2 with equation 1. Then we get y is equal to 300 over 9, which is the same thing as 100 over 3. So that is 33.3 repeating in terms of a fraction. But what is 33.3% or 100 over 3% really mean out of 100%? Because what is 1/3? 1/3 is equal to 0.3 repeating. And how much is 1/3%? That is just 0.3 repeating of the percentage of a quantity. But isn't that the same thing as 33.3 repeating percentage? Because if we have it out of 100, or rather let's have it out of 1,000 this time, 33.3 repeating times 3 will give 99.9 repeating, which is the same thing as if you multiply this by 3, 0.9 repeating. So this equates to the same percentage. So we don't really need to write it as 100 over 3% because that is a very nasty fraction. 1/3 is a much more better representation of the number of votes A got. So 1/3 x added to 9 over 20x added 2 over 15x added to 75 should give the total number of students who voted, which is x. So now just solve this equation and we are done. And notice how much simpler 1/3 is compared to 100 over 3. That would be a nasty, nasty fraction. Something that I would not like to solve, and neither would you. So let's add this term and this term together first. We get a denominator of 15 and we get a 7 as our numerator of x added to 9 over 20x minus x should be equal to negative 75. So we can first add these two together, and we are going to do so by giving a least common multiple. So 50 and 20, put 5 here, 3, 4. So the least is 60. Hence, we multiply this by 4 on both sides. This gets 28 over 60x added to 27 over 60x minus 60x over 60 should be equal to negative 75. And then if I write it here, this should give us a 60 in the denominator and in the numerator. We would get 55 minus 60, which is negative 5 over 60x is equal to negative 75. This can cancel out the negative signs to get 1 over 12x is equal to 75. Hence, x is equal to 75 times 12. And that, if we do some long multiplication, will be 900. Meaning that 900 students participated in this election in the solution to our question. And before we even let off this video, I just want to share with you how much easier 1/3 is. Because when I first did it, I actually did it wrong by substituting 100 over 3. And it did take some time to realize that the percentage of 1 over 3 is the same thing as the percentage of 100 over 3. So this is just something that you must get used to. And yeah, that is the end of this video.